Welcome to Intellect IS, and today in the Indian Polity class, as we know, we are moving ahead with the concepts related with the center-state relations, and in that itself, we are discussing federalism. So, on the basis of the relationship between the center and its units or the states, there are two type of federal federal relation, or you can say federalism. Okay, so federalism, one might be horizontal and other one may be vertical. Okay, vertical means आप समझते हैं what vertical refers. The vertical relation exactly refers such type of relationship, hierarchical relationship. Okay, means one is superior and other one is subordinate, while horizontal is actually this type of ये horizontal है. So federal relations or the federal relationship, in the federal relationship, when there is the vertical allocation of power. Okay, हम आपको पहले वर्टिकल बताएंगे फिर हॉरिजॉन्टल. When there is, आप चाहेंगे तो लिख भी देंगे, when there is the vertical allocation of power, vertical allocation of power, that is in the hierarchical manner, then it is called as the vertical federalism. Though here what happens, the center, though not दो बल्कि आप लिखेंगे in this pattern, the center becomes a superior authority, while the units or the states ये क्या हो जाते हैं, subordinate. And as there is the vertical allocation of power, it means that in the hierarchical manner, that is why what happens, the decentralization of power becomes almost impossible. It means that the the equality, or you can say the equal states concept of the equal states, or the concept of the equal distribution of powers among the states is overlooked. क्लियर? ये तो आपको समझ ही आ गया कि सभी में इक्वल डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन हो सकता है, ना हो. ओके, इन इंडिया, अच्छा हाँ, while in the horizontal type of federalism, what happens, these will not be there. The powers are distributed, or allocation of power is not vertical but horizontal, means the most decentralized pattern of the allocation of power is found in the horizontal federalism. That clear? ये तो क्लियर हो ही गया होगा कि हॉरिजेंटल में, क्षैतिज में, ऊर्ध्वाधर नहीं बल्कि क्षैतिज में क्या हो गया, हॉरिजेंटल में पार्ट्स जो है वो ऐसे जो है जा रही है. तो अब देखिए, कि दूसरी बात क्या होगी, सेंटर एंड स्टेट्स शेयर द पार्ट्स and both work on their own on the basis of the parts allocated to them. In other words, the center and states both work on the basis of the jurisdiction or the sphere of power allocated to them. And the best example we can quote here, the federal system of United States of America. In India, there is also the distribution of power. अब हम लोग सीधे आ रहे हैं इंडिया की तरफ. In India, the Constitution of India envisages the centralization of power in favor of the center. For example, there are emergency provisions like Article 352, 356 and 360. So on the basis of the emergency powers and some other provisions, it seems and it is very clear that under the Constitution of India, not in normal conditions, but in emergencies at least, there is the tendency of centralization of powers in favor of the center. ये तो है ही है, इसमें तो कोई दो राय है ही नहीं. ओके, ये तो हमें पता है. अब जरा देखिए, both, and there is a very clear cut allocation of power, and you can say the distribution of power between center and state or the union and state is ensured by the 7th schedule, or you can say in the 7th schedule there is clear cut allocation of power or distribution of power among the states as well as center. So states derive their power from the constitution under 7th schedule, and states are and have been exercising or have exercised their power rightfully in each and every situation and condition. Though there is the provision of emergency, though there are some other provisions, but states have enjoyed their powers rightfully and even authoritatively. यह हमें पता है. There was no problem. ठीक है, for example, during this pandemic of corona, what happened? During this pandemic of corona, states exercised their power with respect to the very important decisions also. For example, running of trains, flying of flights, and recently also, again, the Maharashtra government has announced that any individual who will commute or who will fly from Delhi to Mumbai, the corona test will be mandatory. So what? Whether that this is whether there is the problem of pandemic or any other issues, so they actually enjoy their power. So ध्यान से समझिए. So it can be said that though there is the centralizing tendency towards the central, towards the center, then also the states enjoy almost co-equal power. And these examples, specifically the examples during this pandemic, the states were almost and are almost free to decide how to tackle this problem. So it also reflects that the states enjoyed, our states are working on the basis of the co-equal power, not the subordinate kind of, or not the subordination of the center, but they enjoyed or they exercised their power as the co-equal power. And in the exercise of their power, the jurisdictional issues which are and were involved in dealing with the corona crisis was never raised. कभी इस पर भी कोई बात नहीं हुई. So any situation or any crisis can be effectively attended by the institutionalization or institutionalizing the coordination between the states and the center. Okay? Now you have to change your paragraph. Now, horizontal federalism is anchored on the building of a relationship between the constituent parts or the units of the government of a federal system with the oversight power of federal government. Is that clear? So, again, you have to say that though there is a centralizing tendency towards the centralization of power towards the center, then also the Indian federalism has horizontal federalism or the horizontal federal characteristics also. Though in India, no, not though, in fact, in India, the federal system or the federalism is popularly called as and known as cooperative federalism. In cooperative federalism, center, both the center and states cooperate with each other, and the horizontal framework facilitates the horizontal framework facilitates the coordination between the center and states and even among the states. on the matters of common interest. There are several provisions under the Constitution of India that can be quoted as the examples of horizontal federalism. The first and very important example, National Development Council, NDC. Whatever the plans are formulated by the center are approved by the NDC, and without the approval of the NDC, no any plan can be executed. Okay? And NDC किसका body है? There are the states. Okay? So what happens? This is the example of the cooperation and coordination in the planning. Thereafter, there is the provision of zonal council. Zonal councils have been formulated, or you can say constituted under State Reorganization Act 1956. Thereafter, we have Interstate Council under Article 263. There is the provision of Interstate Council. So, what happens? We get in India actually cooperative federalism. ओके, हमारे यहाँ इंडिया में हम क्या मिलता है? कोऑपरेटिव फेडरलिज्म. What is cooperative federalism? Just see here. Cooperative federalism. There is a scholar or the constitutionalist A.H. Burke. A.H. Burke and others have defined cooperative federalism as a federation having the following characteristics. Point 1, 2, 3. Write down, please. First point is administrative cooperation between center and states. Second point, a partial dependence of states upon payments from the states. Third, center and state share a horizontal relationship and cooperation in the larger public interest. And the last but not the least, division of power between center and states as it is given under Schedule 7th in the Constitution of India. ठीक है? So if we say here again there is a horizontal relationship and cooperation, तो horizontal relationship कब मानोगे आप? So the horizontal relationship you will accept there is horizontal relationship when power is shared among the organs of the government. का मतलब बिटवीन यूनियन एंड स्टेट्स. ठीक है, जब पावर का शेयरिंग है तो हॉरिजेंटल हो जाता है. बट रिसेंटली अब ये हो गया आपका कोऑपरेटिव फेडरलिज्म एंड यू कैन हैव द एग्जांपल फॉर ऑल दोस एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव कोऑपरेशन बिटवीन सेंट्रल स्टेट. फिर पेमेंट्स, पेमेंट्स है ना भाई, फाइनेंस कमीशन, ग्रांट्स, शेयर इन द टैक्सेस एटसेट्रा. सारा कुछ आ जाता है आपका सेकेंड वाले पॉइंट में. और फिर हॉरिजॉन्टल रिलेशनशिप एंड कोऑपरेशन बिटवीन सेंट्रल स्टेट्स वो भी आपको मिलता ही है. ठीक है, तो व्हाट हैपेंस इन इंडिया, इट इज टू बी सेड दैट इट इज बेसिकली कोऑपरेटिव फेडरलिज्म. So here I'll complete the issue of cooperative federalism. In 1974, for the first time, Supreme Court of India commented on the cooperative federal structure of India. According to the court, the spirit of cooperative federalism is inherent in the Constitution of India as well as it is evident through several provisions under the Constitution. So the spirit of cooperative, new paragraph में the spirit of cooperative federalism is observed by the following provisions. First one, distribution of powers under Schedule 7th. Second, supremacy of the Constitution. Third, a written Constitution. Fourth, rigid Constitution. यहाँ एक मेंशन कर लीजिए with the rigid Constitution. All those provisions that have direct impact on the states cannot be amended without the ratification of the states. For example, GST है ना, GST गुड्स एंड सर्विसेज टैक्स. फिर इसके बाद अथॉरिटी ऑफ कोर्ट्स. सिमिलरली, न्यू पैराग्राफ, सिमिलरली the cooperative federalism is being practiced under the following. Point 1, NDC. Second point, zonal council. Third point, inter-state council. Fourth, Niti Ayog. Fifth, conference of the chief ministers. Conference of the chief ministers. And next one is the conference of the governors. So these are also the examples of cooperative federalism. Apart from this, what we have, there is some provision through which the dominance of the center can be proved. है ना. For example, the parliament can make laws on the subjects of state list, appointment and removal of the governor. Third, states have to comply central legislations in exercise of their executive powers. States have to follow the administrative directions given by the center during the emergencies and emergency provisions. So these are some provisions that show the dominance of the center, but always remember it is not just the dominance of center. There are several provisions that ensures and that show cooperative federalism. During this present scenario, or you can say in the contemporary world, there is another term which is becoming more and more popular, and that is competitive federalism. Now we are going to discuss competitive federalism. What it is? Competitive federalism. So, competitive federalism can be in both type of relations. Means if there is a relationship between center and states, vertical, and if there is the relationship between states and the center, horizontal, in both type of system, competitive federalism can grow. So usually under the competitive federalism, the relationship between center and state is found vertical. Relationship between center and state is found vertical, while the relationship between among the states मतलब एक स्टेट का दूसरे स्टेट के साथ, among the states, horizontal. Okay, the competitive federalism gained popularity or significance after 1990, तो कहते हैं post 90s. Why? As India adopted liberalization, privatization and globalization regime. Means the liberalization regime started in India. Since then, what happened? Free economy. Impact क्या हुआ इसका? Free economy. मुक्त बाजार आ गया, अर्थव्यवस्था आ गई. इसको हम लोग कहते हैं फ्री मार्केट इकोनॉमी. नॉट फ्री इकोनॉमी बट फ्री मार्केट इकोनॉमी. मुक्त बाजारी अर्थव्यवस्था. फ्री मार्केट इकोनॉमी. और फ्री मार्केट इकोनॉमी से क्या होने लगा? Whatever the available resource base was in the with the states, whatever the resource base was available to any state or the states, and not only the resource base, but their comparative advantage came very significant or important. Means what? जब फ्री मार्केट इकोनॉमी आया तो रिसोर्सेस ऑफ द स्टेट, भाई रिसोर्सेस तो किसी न किसी स्टेट में ही है. सेंटर हैज ओनली द यूनियन टेरिटरीज डायरेक्टली अंडर इट्स कंट्रोल, अदरवाइज द स्टेट्स आर देयर. तो स्टेट्स के पास जो अवेलेबल रिसोर्स बेस है और रिसोर्सेस का कंपैरेटिव एडवांटेज, कंपैरेटिव एडवांटेज मींस अब कंपैरिजन होने लगा. Which state is having more resources to cope up this free market economy? Due to the free market economy, everything came under the market. और अब जो है इससे क्या हुआ, अब जिसके पास ज्यादा रिसोर्सेज हैं और उन रिसोर्सेज का कंपैरेटिव एडवांटेज जिन स्टेट्स के पास है, तो इससे क्या हुआ, इट क्रिएटेड अ कंपटीशन अमंग द स्टेट्स. कंपटीशन अमंग द स्टेट्स या बिटवीन द स्टेट्स, कुछ भी लिख सकते. Competition between the states, among states. And sometimes this competition is and was with the states and center. Center और state के बीच में भी competition होने लगा, and that is why this is called competitive federalism. And states are not being restricted by the center. Center is not restricting them. Center is not limiting them. Means center is not saying that the states can not participate directly with any foreign collaboration. The center is not having any objection and is not objecting actually to have a particular agreement with any foreign state or any private investor. So when there is no any restriction and objection, states are conducting and were conducting investors meet, investors conclave. States are providing several type of facilities by their own to the private sector, and private sector is getting those facilities or is utilizing those facilities in the progress. So Punjab is saying, come to Punjab for your business, we are providing several facilities. तो हरियाणा कहता है आप हमारे यहाँ आइए, we are providing several facilities. उत्तर प्रदेश is also saying, come to उत्तर प्रदेश. तो ये सब हो रहा है. This is actually competitive federalism. They are competing with each other to attract funds and investments, which facilitates efficiency in administration and enhances developmental activities. The competition, आपको पता है, मैं पॉइंट में पढ़ा चुका हूं कि कंपटीशन बढ़ेगा तो क्या होगा, एफिशिएंसी बढ़ेगी. तो फैसिलिटेशन ऑफ एफिशिएंसी हो ही रहा है एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में. और जब प्राइवेट सेक्टर्स के मार्केट में तो सभी लोग हैं, तो जितना ज़्यादा जो है इनके पास आ रहा है उतना ज्यादा उस स्टेट का क्या हो रहा है, द स्टेट इज गेटिंग बेनिफिट मोर एंड मोर। ठीक है, गेटिंग माई पॉइंट। तो कॉम्पिटिटिव फेडरलिज्म मोस्टली स्टेट्स के बीच है और कुछ मामलों में दैट इज among the between the center and state also. Am I clear? I think I'm very clear. अब इसके बाद अगला पॉइंट है the investors prefer more developed states. Investors prefer more developed states and union government devolves funds. भाई इन्वेस्टर कहाँ आएंगे, जहां अच्छा खासा डेवलपमेंट होगा तो इन्वेस्टर तो वहीं आएंगे। अब क्या हो रहा है कि जस्ट सपोज गुजरात इज डेवलप्ड, महाराष्ट्र इज डेवलप्ड, है ना, हरियाणा इज डेवलप्ड, ज्यादा डेवलप्ड स्टेट्स हैं तो वहां पर खूब इन्वेस्टमेंट जा रहा है। तो यूनियन क्या करता है, तो यूनियन गवर्नमेंट डिवॉल्व्स फंड्स टू द स्टेट्स। इसी बेस पर यूनियन गवर्नमेंट डिवॉल्व्स फंड्स ऑन द, मतलब उनको ज्यादा फंड देता है, किसको, जो ज्यादा अच्छे काम करते हैं, ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ यूजेस ऑफ प्रीवियसली एलोकेटेड फंड। कई बार क्या होता है कि यूनियन गवर्नमेंट ने पैसा दिया और स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ने उसको यूज ही नहीं किया। समझ गए? तो जब यूज ही नहीं कर पाएंगे तो कैसे होगा, तो अगली बार उनको पैसा कम देगा। एंड इफ द स्टेट्स विल यूज, इट मीन्स दैट इट स्टेट्स विल वर्क फॉर द डेवलपमेंट, तो उनका डेवलपमेंट होता जाएगा। है ज्यादा से ज्यादा डेवलपमेंट होगा। सो द हेल्दी अंडर द, आगे में लिखेंगे कि अंडर द कॉम्पिटिटिव फेडरलिज्म, हेल्दी कॉम्पिटिशन बिटवीन द states strive to improve physical and social infrastructure. Okay? The competitive federalism in India also. So these things are in India also. That's why we can say, or you can say, in India, the union government is facilitating and the states are also doing almost all these things. That is why, in a way, in India also there is competitive federalism, but the competitive federalism is not given under the Constitution of India and it is not the basic structure of the Constitution of India. But it is the decision of the executives or the executive body. ओके, समझ में आई क्या बात? ये डिसीजन किसका है? ये डिसीजन गवर्नमेंट का है। गवर्नमेंट हैज डिसाइडेड, ओके, कि हमको कॉम्पिटिटिव फेडरलिज्म में इस सब चीजों को बढ़ाना है, तो वो हो रहा है। ओके, चलिए, तो दिस इज ऑल अबाउट द कोऑपरेटिव फेडरलिज्म एंड द कॉम्पिटिटिव फेडरलिज्म। यू हैव टू स्टडी इट वेल। ठीक, अब इसी के साथ जो है एक और फेडरलिज्म आता है विच इज कॉल्ड फिस्कल फेडरलिज्म। ओके, बट वील डिस्कस फिस्कल फेडरलिज्म आफ्टर द डिस्कशन ऑफ द सेंटर स्टेट रिलेशन। ओके, जब हम लोग सेंटर स्टेट रिलेशन कर लेंगे तब फिस्कल फेडरलिज्म की बात करेंगे। एंड सेंटर स्टेट रिलेशन भी बहुत सिंपली हम लोग को करना है। इंटर स्टेट रिलेशंस में जो चीजें हैं उन्हें बहुत आराम से और बहुत इजीली करना, बहुत भी दिमाग खराब नहीं करना। ओके, सेंटर स्टेट रिलेशंस। सेंटर स्टेट रिलेशंस देखिए, under the Constitution of India, there is a very elaborated provisions related with the center and state, or the relations between center and state. Under this part. Now, one very important thing, and that is what type of relations can be between the center and states. So, in India, as it is the parliamentary form of government or the parliamentary form of democratic government, that is why the main relation is the legislative relation. Legislative relation. Okay? And on the basis of the legislative relations, other relationships will go ahead. Go ahead. कौन से? तो एग्जीक्यूटिव रिलेशनशिप, इसको हम लोग कहते हैं एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव रिलेशनशिप। एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव रिलेशनशिप। Thereafter, the third type of relationship is financial relationship. What type of federalism we have discussed till now, except the federal fiscal federalism, all the provisions which are given under these two and even under the financial relationship, they can be used and utilized as the provisions related with the center and state relations. We will discuss one by one in an elaborated manner in the next class. ये फेडरलिज्म के जितने कॉन्सेप्ट मैंने आपको बताए हैं, प्लीज रेफर एंड गो थ्रू विद all the concepts very carefully, and cooperative and competitive federalism must be learned to, वहां से क्वेश्चन आने की पॉसिबिलिटी बनी हुई है। चलिए मिलते हैं दूसरी क्लास में शाम में। थैंक यू।